What's up, Conroe? Welcome to some more Nerd Thug Radio. We're hanging out here on this lovely Thursday doing Nerd Thug Sports. I am Corey DLG, and with me as usual is little brother Nico.
What's going on, guys?
You can hear us every day, Monday, Thursday, and Friday. So not every day, but every Monday, Thursday, and Friday, right here on 104.5, 106.1, the sister stations. And we're streaming worldwide at irlonestar.com. And this is our debut show on the brand new Sports Talk channel. So everybody tuning in from Sports Talk channel, I want to say thank you for listening and say, hey, how are you? And then maybe just give you a little wink, like, hey, what's up? What's up?
You know, wink across the airwaves.
Yeah, this is an audio wink from me to you.
Okay.
Sliding that beer across the audio bar. That's all I got. I don't know. And then, like, you know, if you're into it, maybe just give me a like or a subscribe, and maybe we'll get down to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Bow, chicka, wow, wow.
Okay, already too far.
Audio inappropriate. There's a lot going on in the world of sports. It's been a crazy week for a dead week. Well, not really dead week. It's National Championship week, NFL playoffs.
Wow, such a dead week.
Cheating scandal in baseball. Baseball is one of those sports that doesn't do a lot of off-season news, but they sure stole the cycle here. And then also I want to touch on Carmelo Anthony's return in apparent alleged revival.
They're reviving Carmelo Anthony?
Yeah, someone unfroze him. They found him in a block of ice, and they unfroze him. And he's formed his own team of over-the-hill dejected veterans to save the world from Ultron. No. And so then there's just a lot of other sports stuff going on. There's a lot to touch on. Also, OBJ may have just cost LSU their championship literally 10 seconds after it happened. So that's cool.
Good for them.
Yeah, because college sports. But anyway, so if you're listening on Sports Talk channel or on IR Lone Star on 104.5 or 106.1, stick with us because here we go. What do you want to do first, Nico? Cheating, football, or basketball?
Let's go cheating because this is the one that even my mom told me about, and she doesn't say anything ever. So
okay, all right. So shout out to Ime, who's not listening right now. Yeah. So the Astros got hit with a whammy, big whammy,
right.
Big whammy. And then, all right, so from the top, those who don't know, and most of you do, it's if you're listening to a sports show, you know. This was earlier in the week, so everyone's had time to kind of be like, what? Okay. Essentially, in 2017, when we won the World Series, we had cameras zoomed in on the bat, on the at-bat, which is allowed by Major League Baseball rules. You can film the at-bat because live during a game, a player can go into the dugout and watch his swing to see if he needs to adjust it. So, filming the at-bat is not against the rules.
Correct.
Live.
Correct.
In real time.
Yep.
So, Major League Baseball's rule is you can put a camera and point it directly at the batter-catcher scenario.
Yes.
And use the information in real time.
Yes.
But they said you're not allowed to steal catcher signs while you're watching your swing. Now, if you're standing on second and you steal catcher signs, it's not cheating. But if you use the camera to steal catcher signs, it's cheating.
This is the dumbest rule I've ever heard in my entire life.
Essentially, you're allowed to cheat if you use a person. But if you use technology to cheat, now you're a cheater.
Right. This is the dumbest rule on the planet.
So, fast forward to this year. Mike Fiers is no longer an Astro. He was on the pitching rotation. He now went somewhere else, and he complained that, well, the Astros steal signs anyway, so it's, they're cheaters. And a lot of people went, well, that's totally crap. Like, no, we definitely don't steal signs, blah, 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 blah. Well, it turns out, yes, they do. And here is something that also got them in extra trouble. Apparently, during the 2017 season, someone was pitching against them and figured out, they heard, so what they were doing was they were watching in real time the catcher signals, and they were decoding them. And once they figured out the set of signs, they were banging something if it was an off-speed pitch, so that their batter would know to watch the ball. So apparently one of the pitchers during the season caught on, and while he was pitching, noticed that the bangings were in tune with his slow pitches.
Mm-hmm.
So he called the catcher up and they changed signs, but he also was like talking to people in the dugouts. So the Astros got nervous and hid the televisions. So that is the indicator that they knew they were doing something wrong. So Major League Baseball goes in and investigates everything, including that. And they decide, well, obviously the players knew they were cheating because they hid it. I've said this a million times, it's always the cover-up. It's never the crime. If someone had just said, yeah, we're stealing signs, people probably would have been suspended like 30, 40 games. But because it went a whole season, and the players were actively protecting and hiding it, what they went ahead and did was Major League Baseball suspended Jeff Luhnow and A.J. Hinch, the manager and the general manager for the Astros. The owner, Jim Crane, then went one step further and fired both of them. Now, A.J. Hinch hasn't said anything, and it's even on the record that he didn't like the cheating, that a couple different times he broke the screens. He thought they were too fixated on it, and it drove him crazy. But he didn't stop it. Now, I don't know what that means. Like, if you're going around breaking TVs...
Right. He breaks the screen. He didn't stop it. Doesn't really go along with
Yeah,
each other.
I kind of have a problem with that. Like, if a guy's going around breaking TVs when he gets mad, then you need to correct whatever it is. Like, you need to stop doing whatever's making him break TVs. But the players have a lot of control, I think, in pro sports in general. It's kind of a, what are you going to do? You going to fire me? Like, you've got control of me for the next 5 years. Like, I'm not going anywhere, and I'm pretty good. You're gonna want to use me. So we'll just put another TV up. How do you feel about that?
Right.
Jeff Luhnow's lawyer issued a statement that said, he understands this is against the rules, but he was never directly involved. The players used lower-level employees, and none of it came up to him, blah, blah, blah. To me, that's not the best position to take in this instance.
No.
I think you just go, look, it happened. I'm suspended. I'm fired. I want to move on. I don't really want to talk about it. I'm sorry for the inconvenience and blah, blah, blah. Let's just move on. Now, Major League Baseball didn't strip the World Series title. No one's putting an asterisk, although a lot of people now are saying that it's tainted. What do you think?
So personally, I think sign stealing anyways is just a total garbage ruling anyways. Like I said earlier, it's almost a complete BS call anyways, because once you figure it out, they're effectively having an argument across the mound when they're throwing up these hand signs.
You're right, because the pitcher will tell him no or shake him off, or if he doesn't like the call, he'll even come up there and ask for something else. Like, you're right, they have whole conversations with hand signs.
So it doesn't really surprise me. And if you notice someone is, oh dang, they seem to be catching a lot of my slows. Let me change something up. Like the quarterbacks with fake calling, like that happens a lot.
Yep.
Once they figure out a play, and if you're just saying 50 random things and only one of them is real,
it's a lot harder to find the
right. If your catcher's throwing up 60 signs and only 2 of them actually count.
Like, no, I agree. There are ways. What you're saying essentially is the other team could have done more to combat this.
Right. It's not a complete blowout. And if you want to go as far as to say, oh man, but they won the World Series because of this, it's like, but did they? Are you saying that they are such a low skill team that they had to require cheating just to beat, like just to win?
Right. No, you're right. And then
like,
here's the funny part of
skill and like
yeah, for
effort.
sure. And they still won.
Right.
And also, here's the funny part is, I think it was Game 2 when they just destroyed one of the pitchers for the Dodgers because he was tipping his pitches. He was literally so. It's a huge thing in baseball for those who don't know, where the pitcher sometimes will alter their routines for certain pitches, and all of a sudden, I'm blanking on the guy. He's one of the Japanese pitchers who came over here, and he's pitching for the Dodgers in that 2017 season. And he was doing his fingers on the ball before he put the ball in the glove. So as the ball was coming up, he was already knuckled up for a two-seam fastball or positioned for a curveball. He was already holding the ball how he was going to throw it by the time it made it into his glove.
So he knew.
The Astros knew what pitch it was because they could see his hand.
Right. You don't need sign calling when you can see it coming.
When a pitcher is so bad that he's telling you what he's going to throw, then it doesn't even matter if you're stealing signs or not. Like, you've got no business winning the game anyway. And that's part of it. And actually, this World Series, Game 2, I think it was Strasburg was tipping pitches, and their pitching coach caught it. And we banged him out in the first 2 innings. I think we had like 6 or 7 hits in the first 2 innings. The Astros, not me. And then in the dugout, the pitching coach showed him what he was doing wrong, and he adjusted it.
Right.
Okay, well, that right there tells you that, like, our guys are hyper-aggressive. Here's the thing about the Astros. They're hyper-aggressive, and they're looking for weaknesses.
Yeah.
So they're going to take advantage of everything.
Right. And again, even if you knew every single pitch that was coming your way, what's the likelihood you're going to hit any of them?
Listen, every athlete who kind of dabbles in other sports tells you the hardest thing to do in sports is hit a fastball. That's what they all say. Every one of them says putting the bat on a fastball is the hardest thing to do in all sports. So even when you know it's fastball or off speed, yeah, I don't know. Now listen, it is cheating by letter of the rule. Here's the bigger issue, though. The Astros knew about 6 or 7 other organizations who were doing similar practices. Also, the Boston Red Sox manager, Cora, was our bench coach at the time, and so he was in on it. So the Red Sox went ahead and fired him, too.
Right, so they have no connection.
Right, because the Red Sox apparently did it last year, and Major League Baseball announced, we're done with the Astros, we're moving on to the Red Sox, we're double-checking our facts with them, and we'll release something soon about them. And so the Red Sox were like, well, let's just not wait. They suspended these guys all year. This guy did it there and here. Let's just go ahead and get rid of him. Boom, fired. This is going to hurt the Astros, personally, I feel like.
Yeah.
AJ Hinch is, many of the baseball heads are calling him the best manager in baseball right now. And Jeff Luhnow built a great team. So I don't know. I don't know what the future looks like here for the Astros. I don't know how you replace this. You've lost a lot of big talent controversially here lately. They fired the assistant general manager a few months ago because of the incident with the women, with the female reporters, where he yelled about having a wife beater on the team directly at a domestic abuse survivor who was wearing her domestic abuse surviving wristband at the time.
Real bad.
Yeah, it wasn't a good look. And then he lied about it. And the Astros backed him at first, and then when they found out he lied about it, at first they tried to play it off, and then they were like, okay, this isn't going away, so they fired him. During the World Series, they were having to answer questions about this, about domestic violence, so they fired him. And then now you fire, assistant general manager, and your manager, and you lost your bench coach from 2 years ago. Like, it's a lot of open positions,
right,
to confidently maintain continuity.
Yeah, and this is one of the best teams in baseball.
And right now, it looks like Jim Crane's son is going to take over as the president, general manager of the baseball side of things. Generally speaking, it's not a good sign when the son of a rich owner takes over something.
Yeah, not usually.
It's usually not. Jerry Jones, his son helps him, and it's not really working out for the Cowboys that great. The son of the Oakland Raiders owner, Al Davis, his son is now the owner of the team, and they gave John Gruden a 10-year, billion-dollar contract, whatever it was. And
good job.
That's not working out so great for them. They're getting better every year, but they haven't posted that winning season yet. And we're going into year 3 of a 10-year deal. Generally speaking, when a rich dude says, well, my son can handle this.
If his son can't handle this.
It hasn't gone well. The track record isn't...
track record on someone's son doing well, not very good.
Not good. When you're like, my son will oversee this, generally speaking, everyone else is kind of looking around like, oh, there was nobody else, I guess. Okay. All right. I'm sure we interviewed a lot of good people for this. Not a good sign.
Not a good sign.
It's a little concerning.
Just a bit.
But the interesting thing is this cheating thing does go widespread. The Yankees got in trouble for doing it with Apple Watches the year before.
That's oddly specific.
They were using the Apple Watches in the dugout to get data sent to them about the pitchers during the games. I think it was the Yankees and the Red Sox. So there's a lot of other people who were involved in cheating here recently, and technology's been a big part of it. Cheating has gone hand in hand in baseball forever. Pine tar and all of these things. There are known cheaters who get like a 10-game suspension and then they come back and no one ever talks about it again. I don't know.
So weird.
Baseball and the relationship with cheating is super odd. And so from there, I'm not sure where this goes next, but we got to keep our eyes on it because I think the Astros are being unfairly scapegoated, and I don't know how this looks. I don't know what happens next, but I feel like the Astros are going to be unfairly kind of burdened because of this. Also, they lost draft picks and were fined $5 million.
It's rough.
2 years of draft, first and seconds. All right, before we get into the next topic, Nico, why don't you tell everybody about Cox ATA?
Cox ATA Martial Arts, leader in ATA Martial Arts with 3 community locations, one in Conroe, one in the Woodlands, and one in Magnolia. They got all kinds of different courses available. They have, if you're 3, if you're 93, they have Tai Chi, Taekwondo, self-defense, all different kinds of courses available. Getting the new year started strong. Taekwondo is a great way to do it. Mentioned Nerd Thug Radio. Get 2 free weeks of training. It's a great way to get a great start on the new year.
Oh,
Cox ATA. Build leaders. They teach life skills. They leave
a legacy. Yeah, man. Shout out to Cox. All right, we're going to jump out to a break here. When we come back, we got more Nerd Thug Sports coming your way. The Adventure Begins, Comics, Games, and More is open on 1488 at 525 Woodland Square Boulevard. With comics, games, and everything nerd-related, The Adventure Begins is the one-stop nerd shop. On Saturdays, they alternate between having Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, and coming up, they also have cosplay crafting and trivia nights and BYOB nights. They're currently offering a 10% discount for limited time, which will be valid for as long as you grab your books every month. Hi, Conroe. Corey DLG of Nerd Thug Radio. For people interested in saving money on car and home insurance, they should contact Sean Myers Insurance Services. If you look on Google, you'll see plenty of 5-star reviews for these guys. They're great. They're an independent agent able to shop over 15 national carriers to find the best coverage at the best price for that customer. They do specialize in home insurance as well as bundling with auto to maximize discounts. They would want you to know that they consider their customers family and that their policy is caring and their goal is to bring value by going through your coverage line by line to make sure you actually understand what you have. The interested parties should call 936-760-5963 if they're interested in saving money on car insurance today. Cox ATA is the leader in ATA martial arts with 2 convenient locations, one in Conroe, one in Magnolia. They offer courses for young adults, children, and senior citizens, and everything in between for people who are interested in self-defense, taekwondo, or various other courses. Be sure to check out the Facebook page if you're interested in Cox ATA Taekwondo.
This is Rudy Tomjanovich, and welcome to Nerd Thug Radio.
Welcome back to Nerd Thug Sports, hanging out here on 104.5, 106.1, the sister station. It's Corey DLG here, and with me as usual is little brother Nico.
Hello, hello.
All right, we're going to do football here. We're going to do 2 things. We're going to do 3 things. We're going to talk Luke Kuechly, we're going to talk Texans blowing it, and then we're going to talk this week in the playoffs. All right, so you ready? First up, Luke Kuechly, 8 years in the NFL, one of the best linebackers in the game. He's been one of the best linebackers his entire NFL career. He announced he's retiring.
Oh, good for him.
8 years in. Gave a really heartfelt speech. The Panthers posted it to their website. This continues the trend that you and I have talked about numerous times. We talked about it when Ron Gronkowski retired. We talked about it when Andrew Luck retired. Of great young players who get a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And they start asking themselves a question right around that 30-year mark. How much longer do I want to keep doing this?
Right.
It goes back to Calvin Johnson and Patrick Willis, both players at the top of the game who retired early. Calvin Johnson, I think he just got tired of losing. I think it was a little bit different for him. I think he was 32-ish. He looked at his bank account and he had $180 million paid out to him.
And he was like, man, I think I'm done.
Yeah, I don't think I want to lose any more games. Just get killed for these idiots down here in Detroit. And so he was like, hey, I'm not coming back to work. Sorry. Patrick Willis, it was a little bit different. He'd come back from 2 different major injuries in the last few years. And I think he was just, I think his body was telling him, but he was also young, 29, 30. And he said, you know what? I don't want to do another big injury rehab thing.
Right.
I'm done. I've talked about this, my own personal injuries. I've had several serious injuries, and rehabilitation is the hardest thing to go through because it's mental and it's lonely. When you do it, the NFL is real big on you don't want players to realize that they're vulnerable. So a lot of coaches keep injured players completely separate. They don't even travel with the team on away games, blah, blah, blah. If you're like ineligible but not hurt, like let's say it's a suspension. In the preseason, the coach will keep you around and you'll travel with the team because he wants you on the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
He wants you to understand the routine. But if you're injured,
You're gone.
most of the coaches literally they have the training staff purposely schedules all of your stuff to when the players are on the field is when you come in and do your stuff.
So you're not watching them,
And
no
they're
one's
not
with you.
seeing you.
Right.
They don't want the players to look at you hurt and think it could be them because it will affect how they play the game. And so, to be a top athlete, to a degree, you have to believe you're invulnerable. And in this situation, a lot of these players, you go through these long periods where you don't feel like you're part of the team. You feel like it's your job to just get physically better. Plus, you just want to be normal again. You want to feel normal. And by the end of an NFL season, nobody feels normal. That was something that Gronk talked about extensively. They won the Super Bowl and he spent a week in bed crying and bleeding.
Right. Champion stuff.
Yeah, a winner. And Andrew Luck just didn't. He was just tired. It's very mentally draining. And to look at the possibility of a whole nother surgery rehab scenario, a lot of guys don't want to go through it. And so for Luke Kuechly, I'm happy for him. I'm glad he's stepping away at a time when he's healthy for the most part.
Yeah.
Can enjoy
As
his
healthy
money
as he can be.
Yeah, exactly. Enjoy his money, enjoy his family, enjoy the next opportunities, whatever they are.
Right. You had a great career, longer than most NFL careers.
I think the average career now, depending on position, but the average, I think, is 6 years.
So, yeah, longer than average career, good money, you were a great player, happy to have you, go have fun.
Yeah, enjoy,
Enjoy your millions of dollars that
Yeah.
you made.
Because at a high level, college and sports, for 10 to 12 years, you murder yourself.
Right.
And then you reward yourself with the life afterwards.
Exactly.
Marshawn Lynch, this ended with Seattle losing this weekend. This ended essentially his 2-game comeback.
Come back.
Seattle signed him specifically for the playoffs, and he actually looked okay. He didn't look bad, but it wasn't, the Seahawks lost. So
This ain't it, Chief.
I think he's done. But he had some great advice. A lot of people were like, anything you want to say? And he's like, take care of your chickens, take care of your money, take care of your mind, because don't nobody care for you but us.
Real hours.
And so, it was interesting to, the Marshawn Lynch has never sugarcoated or shied away from something. So it was real interesting to hear him kind of talk and explain things and take care of your chicken.
Right, yeah. Thank you.
I will take care of my chicken. Thank you, Marshawn. Also this weekend, we have to talk about it. The Texans blew a 24-point lead.
Good for them. They really made it. We got this far, and by that far I meant we got to the first quarter.
Yeah, man. First quarter champions, bro.
First quarter champions. Like, if you wouldn't want a better first quarter in any football game ever, and then exactly what I said happened, and our now mediocre defense that now has really no one on it, got completely wiped out by one of the best offenses in football.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I'm not going to say I called it, but I kind of really called it.
well, and here's the thing: is it's hard to say this because for a long time our defense was our calling card.
Right. That was what we were good at.
But now,
no longer that is the case.
It's really not. No, it's not. This year our defense was okay.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible, but it's nowhere near as good as it used to be.
But if J.J. Watt's not going to play 16 games, then you really needed to keep Clowney. Like that's just 101. Because Clowney actually did finish the season. He hurt, but still finished.
Right. The Seahawks still lost.
Right.
But imagine if
they lost the same weekend we did.
Right.
So literally that's a wash. But
right. But no, there's no telling what you could do with them together, or at least with one of them.
And that's the problem. Is so for us, we were like, oh, well, we've got Whitney Merciless, J.J. Watt, and Clowney, so we don't necessarily need all three. The problem is that only works if you play the other two all season, and J.J. Watt hasn't finished the season in a little while. And so
I don't think he's had finished the season in like 3 years.
At least the last 3. And so to me, there's a bigger issue at work here, and it's the defense is now old. They didn't get a stop. They didn't force another punt from like the last 7 minutes of the second quarter through the rest of the game. So 2.5 quarters, they didn't force a single punt. Kansas City just
walked it there.
So a lot of people were. I got in a big fight with my buddies in our group chat about there's a fake punt where they went for it, where the Texans went for it. It was 4th and 3, and they call it direct snap, and the gunner, basically he's got one guy to beat. It's 1-on-1 up to the outside. Whoever gets there and wins. And the guy makes a great open field tackle, and we don't get there. We're about 1.5 yards short. That's not the game killer to me. You can't win or lose a game in the first or second quarter. You can't.
Yeah, you can tell that because we won the first quarter.
Yeah, we crushed the first quarter. Listen, if you could win or lose a game in the first quarter, we won a game in the first quarter.
Right.
The problem I have was the 4th and 1 earlier where Bill O'Brien didn't look like he didn't know what he wanted to do. They wind up burning a timeout and then taking a field goal.
Bad clock management.
Bad clock management, bad timeout management, indecisiveness.
Right.
Then, in the fourth quarter, late third, early fourth, I think we're down 17 or 21, one of the two, and it's 4th and 3, and he tries to send the punt team on, and Deshaun Watson has to talk him out of it, and he loses a timeout there, too. I personally don't believe in firing a coach who made it to the divisional round of the playoffs. He made it to the top 4 of the AFC.
Which has been surprisingly good.
We've been good. In our group chat, essentially they're like, oh, he's not going to make it, he's not going to make it, so we need to, since he's not going to win a Super Bowl, we need to fire him. I don't know if he's going to win a Super Bowl or not. I don't, because the Patriots are the only team who's been to the Super Bowl for the AFC, I think it's 5 out of the last 7 years. So,
right.
So if you're not the Patriots, essentially you have to believe you're not going to the Super Bowl, right? I mean, that's the reality. So I don't know. It's tough to call. A lot of people are saying let's fire him. Let's get a different coach in there. But my issue is if you do that, a lot of times changing coaches brings a lot of changes. Arizona had just used their first round pick on a quarterback last year. This year they hire a new coach. What's he do with the number 1 overall pick? He takes another quarterback, and then he trades the other quarterback away.
Right, because he doesn't like him.
Right, because it wasn't his guy. So if the next coach comes in and goes, I don't think Deshaun Watson can win a Super Bowl. I think I need to get another quarterback. Well, now we're starting the entire offense over.
Right, we're starting the entire offense over. We really don't have a huge defense anymore.
Offense has been our strength Listen, this team has put up points in a couple games this year. 40 points, 35 points. That used to not be the Texans' way.
Nope.
They've built an offensive line kind of on the fly this season. Over the year, we've gotten much better. In the beginning, we were sack poor.
Awful.
But by the end of this season, our offensive line looked pretty good. My biggest problem is Laramie Tunsil can't stop getting penalties. But he did go to the Pro Bowl.
True.
But can't stop getting penalties. I don't think we should fire a coach. I think we need to draft a lot of defensive players to restock that pool. And I'd like to see us go after a tight end or running back. One of the two. And try and get some kind of talent upgrade at one of those two positions. Before we get into our picks for this week, let me go ahead and tell you guys about Donald Williams, friend of the show, Donnie Utah. He right now is a independent insurance agent with Sean Myers Insurance Services, LLC. You can check out all their 5-star reviews online. But what he wants me to tell you guys is that as an independent insurance agent, he gets to shop over 15 national carriers to find the best coverage at the best price. Specializing in home insurance as well as bundling the auto to maximize discounts. He likes to go through the policy line by line and help you find all the savings and coverage you can have. So Insurance can get confusing sometimes when
Yeah.
you don't know what you're buying.
It's complicated and expensive, and if you go with like minimums, you lose out on like weird stuff.
Yeah. Oh, well, you can't be towed from the side of the road even if you got into an accident, and it's not free because you didn't pay for the tow.
Right.
So now you have to owe on the tow, even though you were going to use the insurance to pay for the accident. Like weird stuff like that. So they'll go through line by line and help you out. Make sure to call 936-760-5963. 936-760-5963. Mention you heard it on Nerd Thug Sports and Nerd Thug Radio. And tell Donald that you want to have him help you save money. Okay. So picks, Nico. Picks.
I don't think anyone could have seen this coming.
I don't think so either. All right.
It's such a weird, like, where are we?
Okay. So it's Tennessee at Kansas City. Winner goes to the Super Bowl.
That's a pretty good game. I don't know. I feel like Tennessee has been somehow just crushing everybody.
Great defense, solid running, and then they make one or two tough throws a game.
And Kansas City, while they're good, I feel like their offense is like their key thing.
Yeah.
And a great defense will always beat a great offense.
Until it doesn't.
I mean,
you're right until you're wrong on that one. I mean,
right.
that's the thing about Kansas City is you're right. A great defense can beat a great offense until Kansas City scores 50.
Right. And there's, a great defense can only get you so many points is what is also the current comes to. You still have to score points to win the game.
Right. So who you taking?
I'm going to go Tennessee.
I'll go Kansas City here.
All right. Cuz I think
this is the real game. Green Bay at San Francisco.
Ooh, I feel like San Francisco has been so quiet for me. Like they've been like no one's really said anything like, "Oh, wait about San Francisco," even though they've
just been steadily dominant.
They're
just
crushing it. They're amazing
just
right
a
now.
slow steamroll. Like no one's foot is on the gas and they just roll over everybody.
Yeah, they have the best. I think they have the best record in the entire league.
I think so. I think they were. Yeah, they might not have finished at the top, but they were last I saw. Let's see. Standings, league. Baltimore was 14-2. San Francisco and Green Bay and New Orleans were all 13-3.
That's what it was.
Wow, a 3-way tie, really?
Yeah, it's
So
crazy.
San Francisco and Green Bay both finished 13-3. Does that change how you feel?
No. I'm gonna go Green Bay here because I've been repping.
You have been. You've been.
Aaron Rodgers for the past forever now.
You've been a real Aaron Rodgers ally. That's fair.
And I think that now that they finally changed their head coach and this is his first year and look how far they got.
Listen, 13-3 coming off of a bad season.
Right. That's a pretty good showing.
I'm gonna go Green Bay. I'm gonna go Green Bay as well.
Okay.
I don't like going the road team there, but I just feel like there's a little bit of Aaron Rodgers magic in the air.
A little bit.
But Jimmy G's a winner. Jimmy G back up to Tom Brady. According to reports, should have been the next Tom Brady.
Ooh, that's a bold claim.
According to the report,
It's not
that's
like Tom
what they
Brady's
say.
in the Super Bowl this year.
It's what they say. They say that listen, Colin Cowherd said this on the air on his show, and no one came forward to correct him, and people don't like Colin Cowherd. He said that he had sources in the Patriots building that said Bill Belichick wanted to start Jimmy G 2 years ago when he got traded to the 49ers.
Wow.
He was ready then to make the change.
Wow.
So, is this the start of the next era? I don't know. But that's a high compliment.
That is a high compliment.
All right, we're going to jump out to a break, and when we come back, we got more Nerd Thug Sports coming your way.
Cox ATA is the leader in ATA martial arts with 2 convenient locations, one in Conroe, one in Magnolia. They offer courses for young adults, children, and senior citizens, and everything in between for people who are interested in self-defense, taekwondo, or various other courses. Be sure to check out the Facebook page if you're interested in Cox ATA Taekwondo.
Hi, Conroe. Corey DLG of Nerd Thug Radio. For people interested in saving money on car and home insurance, they should contact Sean Myers Insurance Services. If you look on Google, you'll see plenty of 5-star reviews for these guys. They're great. They're an independent agent able to shop over 15 national carriers to find the best coverage at the best price for that customer. They do specialize in home insurance as well as bundling with auto to maximize discounts. They would want you to know that they consider their customers family and that their policy is caring, and their goal is to bring value by going through your coverage line by line to make sure you actually understand what you have. The interested parties should call 936-760-5963 if they're interested in saving money on car insurance today.
The Adventure Begins Comics, Games, and More is open on 1488 at 525 Woodland Square Boulevard. With comics, games, and everything nerd-related, The Adventure Begins is the one-stop nerd shop. On Saturdays, they alternate between having Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, and coming up, they also have cosplay crafting and trivia nights and BYOB nights. They're currently offering a 10% discount for limited time, which will be valid for as long as you grab your books every month.
Hi, this is Kevin Smith, former Dallas Cowboy, Texas A&M Aggie as well, and I want to say what's up to Nerd Thug Radio.
Welcome back, Conroe, to some more Nerd Thug Sports. We're hanging out here on 104.5, 106.1, the sister stations. And we're streaming worldwide at irlonestar.com. And now debuting today on Sports Talk Channel. So I guess we should be like, what's up, Atlanta? Happening? What up? And then other places too. I don't know where all we're at right yet. This is internet streaming, so it's technically everywhere.
Right.
But like,
We'll just say universal.
yeah, there you go. But we're deeply connected to Atlanta is what we've been told.
Right.
Also, make sure to check out Facebook.com/NerdThugRadio. That's the mothership. That's where it all happens. It's where we beam you up into our world and then turn you into our minion.
I don't know if that's accurate.
No?
At least we hope you like our stuff.
That's fair. Yeah, like, click, subscribe, all those different things. We're on all the different little websites, Satchel and all that, iHeartRadio, things of those natures. Just make sure you're searching Nerd Thug Sports, Nerd Thug Sports, Nerd Thug Sports. Before we get into anything else here, let me tell you guys about my friends at The Adventure Begins Comics, Games, and More. Located right there on 1488 here in Conroe. It's an awesome place to go, get your nerd on. We have a good time hanging out, doing our nerd geeky things. This Friday, we'll be there. I'll be there playing Hero Clicks, hanging out and having a good time. We've got prizes for people who want to come play and hang out with us. They also have tonight, Thursday night, weekly Magic the Gathering Commander Night. It's free to play. Bring your own deck. No seat limit. It's casual. It's friendly. Also, tomorrow night, Friday, they got Star Wars Game Night. All Star Wars fans unite. Check out new games. Bring your armadas and team up to play. This gaming free-for-all lets you meet players with shared interest and find a monthly time to play your favorite Star Wars games. Any and all Star Wars games are welcome. Also, coming up later this month is the 25th anniversary. Saturday, January 25th is the Adventure Begins anniversary party for their first anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah. So come on out. They're going to have drawings going on. Come in Monday, January 20th through Friday the 24th for free entry into the grand prize drawing on Saturday at 5 p.m. 1 entry per day, 5 chances to win if you come in every day. On Saturday, there's going to be face painting and a chance to meet Batman and Spider-Man between 2 to 4 p.m. And at 4 p.m., they're having a prize drawing, and 7 winners will get to pick their choice of 10 prizes off the prize table. On their Facebook, they'll be having they're going to start teasing the prizes coming up, and at 5 p.m., they're serving pizza and cupcakes.
Ooh.
Pizza and cupcakes, guys. Come on down to the Adventure Begins Comics, Games, and More right there on 1488. Come hang out with us. We're going to be there. We have a good time. We love that place. Those guys are great, and we have a fun time every time we go. Also, they have my comic books in a box, so I'm coming for you, babies. Okay. So let's do this. Let's talk a little basketball.
Playing basketball. Space Jam 2 still happening, and that blows my mind.
Yeah, they already filmed it.
I know.
Right,
I'm saying.
right now, Daffy Duck is working on his crossover.
That makes sense.
He's in the gym. He's going left. No one can go left. He's going left. Gotta watch it. Okay, so the Portland Trailblazers did an interesting thing here at the start of the season. They made a phone call.
To whom?
Carmelo Anthony.
Thought no one wanted Carmelo.
No one good does.
Fair enough.
So, he kind of went on a rehab tour at the end of last year where he
was trying to shop himself, right?
Yeah, basically. So he went on he did a ton of interviews where he sort of shaded Daryl Morey a little bit, and honestly James Harden a little bit. But he wanted to act like everything was okay, and then he's over it. It's not a big deal. But he was on a 1-year deal, and they were trying him out for 10 games is what they told him. And in the 7th game, they didn't everybody was out and hurt and sick and whatever, and so he played a bunch of minutes and he scored 30 points or 35 points or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 nights later, Daryl Morey stopped by his room and let him know that he would no longer be needed on the team.
Oh.
That they were going to try and trade him, that he have anywhere he wanted to go, and that he would no longer be part of the team. Now, the conversation had been after 10 games, we're going to let you know what we want to do.
Yeah.
He really thought that because he scored the 30 in game 6 or 7, that put 30 on.
Keep me now.
Yeah. So in Carmelo's mind, if you put 30 points on the board, you're too good to let go. And I think that's always been Carmelo Anthony's problem. What he doesn't understand is that certain players in certain roles are asked to do certain things. And there was a time in his career when he was asked to score. Score, 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 score. We don't have anyone else. Put as many points in the basket as you can. There were then other times in his career when he was asked to do other things, and he can't.
Nope.
He doesn't know how. He's not a facilitator, and he's not a defender.
Was it Carmelo Anthony that was I'm not a role model?
No, it's just Charles Barkley. Although
Dang
Carmelo Anthony could have been 2.0. Carmelo Anthony should have been 2.0.
Just do it again.
Yeah. I think Charles Barkley, as a matter of fact, is eating a donut in that commercial, and he's like, I'm not a role model.
And he's playing basketball.
Yeah, well, and that was kind of Charles Barkley's thing. Charles Barkley's always been an honest person. That's actually really what sparked his second career, is that we're like, well, Charles won't lie to us. And so when they put him on TV to talk about basketball, and right away he was like, that guy's no good. He's sorry. You're like, okay, well, I'm glad I'm watching.
Thank you.
But he always did feel like, just because I'm a good athlete doesn't mean your kids should look up to me. You should be explaining to them, the people they should be looking for. I don't argue that. I think Charles Barkley's right about that. But
Side note, sorry.
No, it's all right. But Carmelo Anthony is under the impression that because he can score, he should be playing and should be starting.
It's not what we need.
Even during the ESPN interviews, there was kind of a question of he was like, "Come on, man, you gonna tell me there were 10 guys on that team better than me? You gonna tell me you couldn't even use me at all?" And then it was like, well, but what if you were the 8th or 9th man? He was like, really? I'm the 8th or 9th worst guy on the team? That's not what that means.
No.
The rotations are devised in such a way. Now, look, there's going to be a guy who says the best player should get the most minutes, and he's going to look at me like I'm crazy if I say Carmelo Anthony should be the 9th or 10th guy in a rotation because all he does is score. He's going to go, when do you not need points? Well, no, you're right. Sometimes points is exactly what you need, but other times you need a guy who's going to play defense, or you need a guy who's going to pass, or you need a guy who's going to give a hard foul or take a hard foul. That's not Carmelo Anthony.
He doesn't do the other things you need a basketball player to do.
He's not a complete player.
Right.
He's not LeBron James in that sense. He's not even Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade led the league in steals as a guard. And I think he led guards in blocks. So defense was a part of their game.
Right.
But that's not the case for Carmelo Anthony. And that's been the big problem. Is he's from that same he's from the LeBron James, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade draft class, and he's the lesser of all those guys.
Right, because he's not a complete, full,
And the other guys became complete players. So Portland made the phone call. Now,
Carmelo, we need some points on the board.
Now, you don't follow basketball.
Not nearly enough.
What, just in the West, top 8 teams make the playoffs, 15 teams in the West. Where do you think Portland is right now in the rankings?
I don't know, probably 12.
You think they're ranked 12th? So you think they're not in the playoffs right
No,
now?
I don't think they're in the playoffs right now. Am I wrong? I'm making a wild guess.
So Oh wow, we are at exactly the halfway point this week. It is Portland has played 41 games.
Cool.
So you think 12th?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, you're wrong. Only by 2 spots, and
nice.
only by 1 loss.
Huh. Yeah. I'm surprisingly good at guessing.
You really are. Portland is 17-24, so 40. They've played 41 games.
Uh-huh.
They are in 10th place,
Okay, so I was going to say 10, but I was like, let me go 12. I think they're worse than that.
but only 1 loss better than 12th place.
Okay. So I was incredibly close. All
You
right.
were, and they are 2 full games behind 8th place.
Oof.
With 41 games to play, though. I don't think that's where you want to be, especially because Portland has a lot of great talent on their roster.
Yeah, I don't recall them being bad at all.
Well, no, if you remember,
But I was just like the
they
West is so stacked anyways.
That's true. But they sank that 35-footer to send home to Oklahoma City and destroy their team.
True.
Yeah, I'm trying to see now if there's been an injury, but it's C.J. McCollum, and then Damian Lillard is like that's their 2 guys, and they've built a good team around them. No, Damian Lillard's not hurt; they're playing, and so's McCollum. I don't know. Anyway, but like the media has been kind of in love with this Carmelo Anthony return too.
That's because some people are real Carmelo Anthony stands, and they're like, "I'm ready for Carmelo's return."
They really are. They're very hyped for Carmelo. They really think that Carmelo is like
the answer.
Well, they think he's part of basketball, but I don't really know that he is. Like,
I'm sure he's important to basketball.
you think so?
I think so. It's a name that I recognize, so I think that goes far enough as someone who wasn't a sports fan when they were younger.
Okay. I mean, that's probably a fair assessment. I think it's interesting that from his own draft class, he's not even impressive.
Well, I mean, you're also comparing it to like absolute ridiculous people. Like,
well,
Wade.
okay. So even if you took out LeBron James for being "quote unquote" the GOAT,
Well, even Dwayne Wade was awesome. I had a Dwayne Wade comic book.
but that's my point, though. Is like the rest of the people from that draft class, they wound up a big deal. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see real quick if I can find it. LeBron James draft class. In that same, I want to say in that same class, there were 2 other draft class. Here we go. The 2003 draft. Okay.
Yeah, 2003.
Yeah.
17 years ago almost.
I know, right? Okay. So LeBron James was first. Carmelo was third. Chris Bosh was fourth. Dwayne Wade was fifth. Chris Kaman was sixth. Long career. David West was 18th. Good career. Josh Howard was 29th. Okay career. Mo Williams was 47th. Good. Kyle Korver, 51st. Good. This is Darko Milicic was terrible. He was the 2nd round pick. They thought he was. Kirk Heinrich, he played a long time. T.J. Ford, yeah, if it wasn't for injuries, he'd be probably more important. Nick Collison just retired. Marcus Banks, Luke Ridnour, Sasha Pavlovic, Boris Diaw had a great career. Travis Outlaw, Brian Cook, Kendrick Perkins, Leandro Barbosa, Luke Walton, who's now a head coach, Steve Blake, who's got rings, Zaza Pachulia, who's just dirty. There's just a lot. James Jones has a ring. There's a lot of guys on here that had probably Carmelo Anthony is jealous of.
Maybe.
They at least have rings. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, this is true.
it's weird. I don't know where his place lies in all of this. I think this is something to talk about, but like Portland, as of right now, they're not even in the top 8. They're not even going to the playoffs.
Nope, not as of now. Halfway through the season,
They are halfway through the season, and they are in the they are the bottom tier of the West.
right?
It's not a great look for them.
Again, it's pretty stacked, anyways. But
The West is deep. The top of the West is hard to crack. When we come back, we got some more college sports. I know that's Nico's favorite. We got more Nerd Thug Sports coming your way.
The Adventure Begins, Comics, Games, and More is open on 1488 at 525 Woodland Square Boulevard. With comics, games, and everything nerd-related, The Adventure Begins is the one-stop nerd shop. On Saturdays, they alternate between having Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. And coming up, they also have cosplay crafting and trivia nights and BYOB nights. They're currently offering a 10% discount for limited time, which will be valid for as long as you grab your books every month. Cox ATA is the leader in ATA martial arts with 2 convenient locations, one in Conroe, one in Magnolia. They offer courses for young adults, children, and senior citizens, and everything in between for people who are interested in self-defense, taekwondo, or various other courses. Be sure to check out the Facebook page if you're interested in Cox ATA Taekwondo. Hi, Conroe. Corey DLG of Nerd Thug Radio. For people interested in saving money on car and home insurance, they should contact Sean Myers Insurance Services. If you look on Google, you'll see plenty of 5-star reviews for these guys. They're great. They're an independent agent able to shop over 15 national carriers to find the best coverage at the best price for that customer. They do specialize in home insurance as well as bundling with auto to maximize discounts. They would want you to know that they consider their customers family and that their policy is caring, and their goal is to bring value by going through your coverage line by line to make sure you actually understand what you have. The interested parties should call 936-760-5963 if they're interested in saving money on car insurance today.
Hey, Haywood Jeffries, former Houston Oilers wide receiver on Nerd Thug Radio.
Welcome back to Nerd Thug Sports, coming in on 104.5, 106.1, these sister stations. This is Corey DLG, and with me as usual is little brother Nico.
Hello, hello.
And we're hanging out here on this Thursday and just kind of doing our thing, man. Just doing our thing. All right, this is a crazy story. This is just insane to me. So LSU won the national title.
Wow, amazing.
Running away, like
Shout out to Zach.
hurt Clemson bad. Like I think they won by 14, 20, something like that. Like they pulled away by the end of that. Odell Beckham Jr. though was on the sidelines cheering for LSU, and was on camera, apparently, allegedly, handing out money to the players to celebrate.
It hurts so much.
They're going to punish these kids. A lot of these kids are probably going to now. The ones graduating, hey, bye, whatever. But the ones coming back next year,
and then they leave.
right? Well, that's what Joe Burrow did. He admitted to it. He's not.
He's like, I'm not a student athlete anymore.
Yeah, I don't have another game to play. You can't take anything from me. This is mine. Yeah, the NCAA though is going to suspend some kids for some games. They're going to miss time. That sucks. Stupidly. All right. So all that being said, I think it's a nice little wrap up. Odell Beckham Jr. is an idiot. LSU screwed up, and the NCAA is evil. Thanks for listening, guys. I hope this is our first of many episodes on Sports Talk Channel. I hope things are going great. And shout out to all of Conroe and Cox ATA, Adventure Begins, and Donald Williams over there at Sean Myers Insurance. On behalf of little brother Nico and myself, same Nerd Thug time, same Nerd Thug channel.